All right, now we'll open it up for questions for the fighters. Jennifer has the microphone here, so whoever has a question.
Hey Rich, I'm wondering, do you think that you could ever be celebrated in Cincinnati the way other sports icons are, like Ken Griffey Jr. or Carson Palmer or anything? And do you think it's important that you could be?
Personally, I don't believe it's that important. To me, I honestly care less. If people celebrate me, great. If not, then that's fine. But with the way the UFC's taken off and MMA growing and everything, I believe that I could become an icon in this city, just like any of the other sports athletes, like Carson or Ken Griffey.
Anderson, this is for Anderson. My question is, what were your thoughts when you first heard the fight was in Cincinnati, and how much of an advantage does he think that might give Rich in this fight?
Eu acho que eu sou profissional, sou um atleta do UFC, e onde eu tiver que lutar pelo evento que eu represento, eu vou lutar. E quanto à responsabilidade, eu acho que tanto minha quanto dele, né? Eu acho que é o trabalho dele, meu trabalho, e eu vim aqui para fazer o meu bem feito.
As a professional, I'm prepared to fight, and as being a fighter for the UFC, I'm prepared to fight wherever the UFC would like me to fight. And as far as the pressure, I believe that there's just as much pressure on him as there is on me. He's fighting in front of his hometown, I'm fighting in his hometown. We'll see on Saturday night.
Rich, Dana said that in your last fight against Anderson that you didn't look like yourself. Is that explainable to you and or correctable?
You know, I think in my last fight there was a lack of mental focus in that fight, and that's part of the reason why we went to Wyoming to train, especially with the fight being here in Cincinnati, a lot of distractions. So myself, George, and a camp of about 10 of us had flown out to Wyoming to finish our training out there.
What about the clinch specifically? Is that something that you find that now you can remedy?
Yeah, we spent several hours breaking down films, looking at, brought out not only my coaches, Rob Leon, Mike, but Matt Hume is working with me as well. We set up specific drills, and I feel that we've got a great strategy set up for this fight, and I'm confident. I'm not necessarily worried about what he's going to do, but rather concerned about what I'll do.
Question for Anderson. Over here. Watching the last fight, obviously it's obvious what Rich needed to address before the second fight. In your preparation for this fight, how do you prepare, and what would you expect from Rich as you fight on Saturday?
Não existe uma estratégia, né? Eu acho que a luta vai desenrolar de acordo com o que a gente lutar. Eu acho que ele está muito bem preparado, e eu também, e vou procurar dar o máximo de mim para que o público veja uma boa luta, um bom espetáculo.
He says it's really hard to have a strategy coming into a fight. Once the fight starts going, the fight goes where the fight goes. I know that Rich Franklin came very well prepared, and I'm planning to have a great fight on Saturday night, and a fight that the fans are going to be very happy to watch.
Another question, what happened with the visa situation coming to the U.S., and how did that affect any of the pre-fight preparations?
Na verdade, eu tirei o visto e o passaporte ficou no consulado americano. Eles demoraram um pouco para entregar porque era de feriado no Rio de Janeiro. Mas isso não afetou em nada o meu treinamento.
What actually happened was he got his visa about a week and a half ago. The way it works is that the American consulate keeps the passport, and the days that they were supposed to send it out happened to be holidays back to back, so it just kind of got caught up in the mail. But as far as how it affected his preparation for this fight, it didn't affect him at all. He was training there, and just a couple days later, that's all.
Rich, there have been a lot of references lately to this Big Dog's Pizza place in Westchester. Could you discuss that in more detail? What exactly is so great about this place?
It's a pizza place. I really like the pizza before I eat my junk food. When I'm allowed to eat junk food. Well, I've been out of town for a month, so it's been over a month now, but I'm sure I'll go someday this week.
Rich, you're very matter of fact when you talk about your fights. You say each one, your reputation is on the line, and that each one is as important as the last one. Obviously, this one is for the title you once held for a man who beat you. On the Countdown show, you said you had some unfinished business. Is this a little different from the matter of fact, each fight is the same?
No, not really. Mentally, I've really tried to eliminate all that stuff out of the equation, the title and all that. To me, a fight's a fight, and if the title was on the line here, it would still just be a fight. And I know Anderson and I are both coming out win or lose. We both want to win, regardless of whether the belt's on the line or anything like that. I think I just want to win a little more this time because he beat me last time in such the fashion that he did as well. So it changes things a little bit.
This is for Tim and Brandon. I wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts when you heard about Randy Couture's resignation from UFC, and also how do you think that your fight affects potentially the heavyweight picture in UFC?
When I heard Randy resign, I figured Randy's done a lot for the sport, both for UFC and MMA. He doesn't need anybody's permission. He definitely doesn't need my permission to do whatever he wants to pursue, whether it be acting or whatever. How's it change his fight? It doesn't. I'm still fighting Tim Sylvia. That had nothing to do with me fighting Tim Sylvia in my preparation. A lot of people may ask me that question, and then they're like, oh, what about the title? What about the title? I don't care about that title. I care about the man that they put in front of me. Right now, I got a big man standing in front of me. Let me get through him first, then we'll worry about all that other stuff after.
You know, it really didn't come as a surprise to me because I went out to Vegas 6 weeks ago to train at Randy's gym with some of his guys. And we talked for about a half hour, and I actually knew it was coming. I begged him not to because, if the opportunity comes about, I'm going to fight him for the title. But, he's done a lot for the sport, like Brandon said, and I respect him a lot. So, what he chooses to do is up to him. It doesn't affect me with a fight with Brandon or down the road, like Brandon said as well. Brandon's a tough guy. I had to get by him first before I even think about a title.
Stephan, can you talk about the road that you've had to take to get back onto UFC pay-per-view television, and what lessons did you learn along the way with some of the things you had to go through?
I was out of work for a while, and I had 2 surgeries that I needed, so that was good. You got to find the plus in it all, right? And, my last fight ended pretty quickly, so I thought for sure they were going to show it on the pay-per-view, but unfortunately they ran out of time, so that's why I'm really happy that this one will be shown, and really excited, that everyone could see me fight again, because, I always feel like I got something to prove, and I want to go in there and prove it.
Any other questions? Give you a chance for one more question. All right. Thank you all very much for coming. We appreciate your support. And I'm going to pull this podium out of here and have these guys face off so you guys can take photo ops.
Can't help it, man. I'm out of there.